Welcome to the Berman Golf Podcast, where we're helping golfers over the age of 60 increase distance off the tee so that they can hit shorter irons into the green. Yeah, baby. You can visit us at bermangolf.com for more information and get ready. This is going to be a fun one. And we're rolling with the Long Balls Golf Podcast. Dr. Jake Berman here, the originator, the founder of the Berman Method of Golf Performance, where we help you move better so you can hit the ball further and strike the ball more consistently. The ultimate goal is to swing the club more efficiently. It's one of the things that the vast majority of amateur golfers struggle with is, how do I swing this damn thing more efficiently? You're trying to do all the things. You're trying to swing it with your body. You're trying to lead with your hips, but you ultimately are flipping at it. Doesn't really matter what you do. It still results in a flip. And here's one fun fact is the vast majority of us think that we're doing one thing, and in reality, it's not even close. And this is proven time and time again when I take slow motion videos of my customers, either in-house or virtually, now that we're really taking off virtually, nationally and internationally, especially with this AI program that we're using. It's been a ton of fun. However, the vast majority of times that we show a customer a video of their swing and exactly what they're doing, specifically in the transition from the backswing to the downswing, they're like, wow, I did not think that I was taking the club back that far. Or, wow, I cannot believe how over the top my swing is. So we think we're doing one thing. However, in reality, it's something very, very different. So that's one of the biggest things that we need to do is know what it needs to feel like to do it the right way. Today, what I wanted to talk about is this kind of transitions right into it, is what is the last thing that occurs when you make a swing change? Because that's ultimately what we're thinking about doing here is if you're flipping at the golf ball, like the vast majority of us do, the vast majority of amateur golfers flip at it. So when you look at the still shot, if you take a slow motion video and you're looking at a still shot of your hands, club head, and golf ball at impact, the vast majority of the time, the club head and the golf ball are ahead of your hands. That means you flipped at it versus using your body to get through the ball, which creates lag. Everybody knows what lag is. We see it so beautifully on TV when we're watching the pros do it, and they love taking those slow motion videos and showing us just how perfectly forward those hands are at the impact position. Club head is trailing behind. The low point of the swing is 2 or 3 inches in front of the golf ball, creating this beautiful divot with this piece of grass that flies through the air, and it's just picturesque. Yet, none of us can actually do it because we don't know how to swing the golf club with our body, ultimately resulting in us using our arms and hands to flip at the golf ball. So as we try to implement these changes, as we try to turn using our body, making our body lead the way versus our hands and our wrists and the club head leading the way, it ultimately results in bad results. No way around it. The first thing that happens when you make a swing change is a bad result. The last thing that happens when you make a swing change is a good result, which is why it's so important that we focus on the process. When implementing a swing change, we've got to focus on the process and not the result. So to give you a visual on how we work in the office, right out of the gate, our ultimate goal is to take whatever swing you currently have and make it more efficient. meaning that if we can make your horrendously ugly looking swing more efficient, you're going to get better results. If we can make your beautiful swing more efficient, you're going to get better results. So if we can get a small win right out of the gate, then your brain will start to open up and say, okay, I like what I just felt here. I like that hit of dopamine. That felt better. Now I'm more likely, more willing to be open to this idea, this concept of changing X, Y, or Z. So to come back full circle to what we're talking about here, as soon as we try to implement a swing change, whether that's here at Berman Golf and we're trying to get you to lead your backswing with your belt buckle and not your hands, that is a swing change. The first thing that happens is it feels weird. It feels foreign. It feels like it's a lot of work. It doesn't feel comfortable. It feels tight. It feels stiff. All of these negative things that pop into your brain, it's like, okay, I don't like the way that feels because it wasn't easy. I don't like the way it feels because that felt like so much more work, which exposes my true weaknesses. The next thing that inevitably happens is a horrible shot result, meaning that you top it, you shank it, hit it off the hosel, you do something, and the result is horrible on the simulator or out on the driving range. And the immediate knee-jerk reaction is to say, okay, I did not like that. I'm not going to do that again because look how bad that was. And a perfect example of this was the first lesson I ever got when I finally decided that I was going to take this thing seriously and do this the right way instead of just trying to go out there and hack it up and be athletic and figure it out on my own. The first lesson I ever got, I'll never forget it. I was out there doing my thing, hacking away, whacking away, sweating bullets on the driving range. And the guy that I was working with at the time, he was helping me swing in a better tempo, I guess is the easiest way to say it. I was just like most people, super fast on the backswing, whacking, swinging out of my shoes. So he was trying to get me to swing on a better tempo. And as I was doing that, the contact was getting worse. And I started really slicing the ball with a 7-iron. I hit a couple right off the hosel. And I'm going, this is horrible. Yet, as I was doing that, he kept going, Jake, that was better. Jake, that was a lot better. And I'm going, what are you talking about right now? What planet are you living on? How are you going to tell me that was better? Did you see the result? I mean, it didn't even go anywhere near where it was supposed to go. How are you going to tell me that's better? Now I know exactly what he was talking about. The overall mechanics, my overall body mechanics was significantly better. Now, everybody pay attention to this. This is where it gets really frustrating as you're trying to implement a golf change or a change in your golf swing. Is as soon as you implement a physical change in the way your body moves to deliver the club head to the golf ball, your brain no longer knows how to achieve that goal. Meaning that, think about your route to work. Most likely you drive the same way to work every single day. Most likely you drive the same way to the grocery store every single time you go. Most likely you drive the same exact way to the golf course every single time. Now, if you were to go a different route and you're not focused on which route you're going to take, you could easily drive past the turn. I mean, if you're on the phone, if you decide for whatever reason you're going to take a different route to the course, and you're on the phone and you're really caught up in that conversation, you'll drive right past the turn that you should be making because it's not automatic. It's not routine. You don't know how to do it unless you really think about doing it. The same thing is true when you make a change in the golf swing. It's no different at all. So as soon as we change the way our body is moving in attempt to deliver the club head to the golf ball, Now we no longer know how to deliver a square club face, or so we think, a square club face to the golf ball, resulting in a really bad result. Now, the thing that sets us apart, or sets really good players apart from the amateurs that they seem to plateau, they can never get past a certain level, is they will trust the process. Meaning that one of the first things that, I forget who it was, somebody told me this years and years ago when they were talking about Tiger and somebody making a swing change, and they said, man, this is going to take probably a year to make this change. And I'm going, what are you talking about? Why would it take a year to implement this swing change? He goes, do you have any idea how long it took Tiger to make a swing change? And don't hold me to this, I didn't fact check this. He goes, it took him almost 2 years to implement a swing change. And I'm going, how is that possible? Like, how is it possible that the greatest of all time, it took him almost 2 years to implement a swing change? Because it's true. As soon as you change something, your brain now has to relearn the route in which you deliver the club head to the golf ball. So that's where we struggle, especially us amateurs, when we're talking about the difference between shooting 80, 90, or 100, or not even coming close to breaking 100. You know, it's too short term. We're too Amazon Prime focused. I want the result yesterday. I want the box. As soon as I make the order on Amazon, somebody knocks on my door 3 hours later. This literally just happened to us last week, where my wife ordered something at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and right before we're going to bed, so we go to bed we start brushing our teeth and things around 8:45, the dogs start barking, and we're like, what the heck is that? And we go out to the front door, and there's a box on our door, or on the doorstep. We're going, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you literally just ordered that 3 hours ago, and it just showed up. Like, we're too used to these immediate results now, so we don't focus on the process. So if you can accept that the last thing that's going to occur when you make a swing change is a good result, then you have a chance at improving your swing. You have a chance at improving your ball striking. You have a chance at making significant steps in the right direction, because then you'll focus on the process. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to not turn on a simulator and not go outside to the driving range. So if you can focus on making a swing change, focus on moving your body in this new sequencing 90 to 95% of the time without ever hitting a golf ball, you're just focusing on the motion, you're focusing on the movement, you're focusing on the muscle activation, the tempo, the proper sequencing. If you could focus 90 to 95% of your efforts on that and not focus on hitting the golf ball, then for the last 5% or 10%, go and make contact with the golf ball, you will get better exponentially quicker than if you try to implement a swing change with the simulator turned on or out on the driving range, because you're going to immediately see a poor result. You're going to immediately feel the vibration of poor contact. And you're going to go, oh, that did not feel good. Oh my gosh, that looked horrible. Holy cow, that was off the hosel. And it immediately makes you less likely to proceed and follow the process. It's no different in the golf swing as it is in the gym, with your diet, and business. Think about your diet. There's a few ways that you can lose weight. The way that people are least successful losing weight are the ones that are focused too much on the scale. Those people that weigh themselves every single day and they're looking at that number, that's how they're judging if they're being successful or not. And that's not the way to do it. The right way to do it is to focus on what you're putting in your mouth, what's on the fork, and actually putting the fork down after you've had the right portion of food. If that's the only thing you focused on, you would never have to look at the scale. The scale would take care of itself. So the scale is the result. What you're putting on your fork and into your mouth, that's the process. So focusing on what you're eating will take care of what the number says on the scale. Focusing on what your body is doing, how you're activating muscles, the sequencing, what you're doing as far as how are you bringing the club back, how are you initiating the club down, focusing on those things will result or ultimately result in where the ball should be going and how it should be getting there. So focusing on the process and not the result. The last thing that will occur when you make a swing change is a good result. And this is the number one hindrance to amateur golfers getting better. I cannot tell you how many 65 to 75-year-old golfers that I've worked with over the years who get frustrated and really want to quit because they're too focused on the results. So this is one thing that has helped a lot of my customers over the years when I say this. When we start working together, utopia would be if you could just do everything that we're working on inside, in the AC, and never ever around any golf ball, never ever out on the driving range, never ever on the golf course. If you could focus on doing everything that we're doing away from all of that, inside in the AC, for at least 3 weeks, ideally 6 weeks, and then around 6 weeks, we can start integrating it into the driving range, into the golf course, into an actual round, you will be exponentially more successful faster than if you take the stuff that we're working on in the first 2-3 weeks and immediately try to implement it out on the golf course. It'll be an absolute disaster. And I explicitly say that on day one. I'll say, listen, we've done a lot today. Day one is usually getting your core fired up, activated, and useful, and loading your trail leg the right way into the backswing. We usually do that on day one. And I'll say, now, if you go out to the driving range, it most likely will be a disaster. If you go out and you try to implement this into an actual round, there's a 99% chance it will be one of the worst rounds you've played in a long time because your brain is too focused on different things. And as you know, 2 things is the most you should ever be thinking about in the golf swing. So again, as we're trying to implement these changes, focus on the body work. Focus on moving your body and not making contact with a golf ball, not hitting a golf ball. If you can focus on this for at least 3 weeks, ideally 6 weeks, because it takes 6 weeks for your muscles to actually hypertrophy and change. You're not going to speed that up unless you're on Arnold Schwarzenegger's regiment. You will have a significantly higher chance at being more successful faster than if you try to implement these changes on the driving range, which almost always results in a disaster, frustration, and saying, screw it, I'm going to go back to what I know works at least 50% of the time, which is my crappy golf swing, and at least I can advance the ball. That's all I have for you today. Make sure you go and check out our membership site. People are absolutely loving it nationally and internationally. We got the prices set extremely low right now, temporarily, just to gain some traction, and I'm getting tons of good feedback from y'all. So as soon as we optimize this thing a little bit more, the prices will go up. So make sure you get in on this early bird special right now. So it's info.bermangolf.com/membership. I'll link to it in the show notes. Check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast and share this episode with somebody that you know tries to go to the driving range to implement swing changes. and it's just a disaster every single time. Share this episode with somebody that you know tries to implement a swing change in the middle of a round, which is the worst time to ever implement a change. Share this with them, and hopefully hearing it from me will help them take it to the next step. All right, that was awesome. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. For more information, please go to BermanGolf.com. That's B as in boy, ERMAN, BermanGolf.com, and check out a ton of stuff that we have there. Or even better, go to our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're even on TikTok. Check us out everywhere. We've got tons of content going out every week. And please give us a thumbs up. Comment on the videos. Let me know what your questions are. Try to shoot holes in this. I'll do whatever I can to help you out the best that I can. Thank you, guys.